Seeing Graffiti Town last episode was really something else. Let's continue down this adventure. Gachiakuta, episode 10. We start this episode off reintroducing Rumlin, this time the successor of the vital instrument. Something that we notice about Rumlin is that she is sort of this playful spirit, carefree, just like the previous successor. And as you can see, Ruto's face is painted that she did herself, and Engine kind of brings this up. Rumlin is the sixth person to take on the role of spellcaster in Canvas Town. There's only one thing about that: the mayor says maybe. The reason being is that all of these different spellcasters, they write their histories through art and not written words. Whenever Rumlin asks a question, she's wondering, whenever I draw on a person, the power doesn't work if I don't have their consent. Engine is able to answer this. Usually God would have to ask someone beforehand. Engine then asks the mayor a really good question. Do spellcasters get the same ability as their predecessor? The mayor responds with, I've heard their powers have historically been similar, but you sometimes see subtle differences. As Engine hears this from the mayor, he's trying to break it down. As he's about to go to his conclusion, Remlin's like, nah, it ain't that deep, bro. It turns out the same cause we all bring a real sense of play to our drawing. As Remlin explains what she means, we get to see this really awesome drawing. As Remlin says, freedom of play is pretty much what decides who is going to be the successor. Okay, after all that conversating, we move on. Rudo has his shirt off, and we get to hear Rumlin ask him a question. You want me to draw reduced damage from one major hit on your body, right? We then get to see her activate her vital instrument. Suddenly, it has took a very different shape. This time, it's a tattoo gun. Rumlin ends up not going through with the tattoo, just because we all know this would have been a bit controversial. A little kid getting a tattoo, yeah. So instead, she draws it on his back. We don't really get to see it. All we know is there's some red. Rudo puts on his jacket. As the cleaners begin to exit Canvas Town, we get to learn from the mayor talking to Engine that Rumlin is tired from drawing on 9 other people, which is probably the same scribe that Rudo has as well. Now for some funniness, as they get out to the gate, the mayor goes off on the two dudes that are trying to still get inside that can't enter. Apparently, they're mad about the new successor. And this is where the mayor's like, y'all are banished for this reason. Get out of here. And they just walk away. I'm going to miss Canvas Town, but I don't think this will be the last time. Mayor was really awesome. And of course, Rumble, I think she'll show up yet again. While they're on their way back, we get to hear Rudo talking to Engine, asking if they're going to go back to the HQ. Engine says, yeah, to get your full face gear. W Engine. He says, but before that, let's go pick you up a treat, Rudo. It's really so wholesome that Rudo is getting so excited to be taken to a junkyard to pick out whatever he wants. As Rudo is excitedly going through all this junk, above this trash pile, we get to see a TV, and we zoom in closer slowly, and it starts to statically play. As the picture starts to clear up, we see a man in a cloak. Suddenly, the camera goes sideways, and we see his hands, and he's wearing an exact replica of the gloves Ruda wears. Okay, that was a crazy cut to the opening, but now we are back at the HQ. Some guy is screaming, he's going, hell yeah, it's done! Rudo asks, who is that? So here we are with Engine answering, new character introduction. This is August, he makes the cleaner's gear. Very loud and excited, he's finished Rudo's mask, and I find it kind of funny that he has also measured Rudo while he was asleep to get the measurements for the mask. Something that wasn't expected at all is that his sister is Aisha, two very different personalities. After that very interesting interaction, we get to see our squad going down an elevator. As they all walk out of the elevator, we get to see Rudo walking with a briefcase, which we can assume his full mask is inside of here. While down here, we get to hear Rudo complaining a bit, but Engine suddenly changes the topic. He tells Rudo to take off his choker for a minute. This is when we see the members of the squad start to draw their own blood. After they all draw the blood of their thumb, they then press their fingers against the choker. Engine explains that the choker can be used like a phone, and the people you trade blood with you can talk to. After Rudo's forced to give up some blood, at last we're finally off to no man's land to find the lady. Now, after hearing that, we get back in the car where Engine comments about how much junk Rudo's brought on the trip, and we get to see in the back that a part of that is the TV from earlier. What feels like little time, we're already here. hint of the desert, no man's land. Hamzy goes in to take a closer look at this sand, and it's really waste matter worn down to dust. Suddenly, a disturbance in the sand is coming closer. Injin then says, and here they come. After Injin says that, we kind of get to see Ruto, but he has his hood on. We can't really see that full face. Injin then says, try to keep up, something along the lines of that. So wait, Ruto says that's the plan. Then we hear Injin say, use those gloves 3R, which that is the name of Ruto's gloves, by the way, whenever he's named them, to beat them down. Ruto dives into this desert. At the same time, he is remembering what he was told on how to wear this full mask, and we are shown the front of it. It's red, yellow, and even has some metal bits. I mean, come on, Ruto looks like a menace as his trash beast reveals itself. Now, this is where things suddenly take another turn. We see a message that says the cleaning begins. It blinks as if it's a TV, and we back out, and it's actually a TV similar to the one that Ruto has in the villain's lair that Jabber and all those goons are just watching, and they know exactly where Ruto and the others are. We get to overhear Jabber talking to the boss. He's asking if that is where the other one is. And the boss is going to be sending Jabber out on another mission. We statically cut out from them back to Ruto and the others, and they've already fought these trash beasts, and we didn't get to see it. Sad. Tommy's writing some notes. Apparently, they were scorpion-like. But as she's about to finish up her notes, this is when a bunch of trash beast stingers come out of nowhere. When I thought I was about to be disappointed, our team just goes crazy on this battlefield. Also, I already knew this, but Injin's umbrella is just insane. Injin ends up giving Ruto the last trash beast to fight. We get to see Ruto jump mid-air and use his power on a keyboard. Really weird, but there's a cut, and we get to see a woman who seems surprised along with a music change. Now we get back to Ruto. He turns his keyboard into a red version of it, a little bigger. He starts pressing buttons, and suddenly they start glowing and floating, and finally they turn to blades that all launch at this trash beast. He literally dives into it. Happily, he was able to live his purpose. After the trash beast fight, our team is kind of investigating, and Ruto at the same time is kind of wiping off his mask. He's got some dust in his eye, which suddenly, for a second, we get to see that same woman from just a minute ago. Ruto seems to notice something, but he isn't too sure. This is when a funny moment happens. Delmon scares Ruto out of nowhere out of the dust, and Tamsy's there as well. They're just like, hey, I wish I could have seen it. You know, there was too much dust. Ruto's like, I wish I could be more useful. Now, things get weird and scary again. The woman that we saw earlier is coming towards them, and she's whispering to herself, yes, of course, that's how it is. Finally, once she's in front of the three, she comes to a stop, and she says, you came here to see Ammo, didn't you? Very interesting character choice. No pants. Okay. She's got orange, black hair, same for her outfit. There's some white in there too. Very nice. Now, our cleaners are sort of hesitant if she's the woman that everyone's been talking about. They ask her, and she says, oh yes, indeed. Yet again, our cleaners have to ask themselves if they should go. This woman is wanting to go to whoever Amo's house is and talk. And, yeah, Engine's like, we should all go, and if anything happens, I could definitely take her on. I don't even know what to say here. So we transition by showing a bunch of items inside of a house, and, suddenly we get to see a very messed up Engine, and he collapses. Ruto is met with eyes of horror. With Engine slobbering out on the floor, we get to hear Ruto ask, how? And the woman's just staring off into the distance with a really huge grin. So, this episode, yet again, led me off guard. Suddenly I thought, oh, we're in for a mid-episode. No fighting, no nothing. They hit us with a bunch of those what the moments. We got some action. It's just really good stuff. Highly underrated, and I think everyone has to be watching Gachiakuta. As this continues on, all I can say is, I just want to see what happens this next episode. What did this woman do to Injin? And why is he slobbering on the floor looking like he got drugged out? If I had to rate this episode, I'm going to say it's a 9. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Gachiakuta Episode 10. Hope you stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.